I'm doing today for planting. It's kind of interesting. Hoping the wind ain't too bad here. I'm planting some mammoth sunflower seeds, and all I'm going to do to plant them, and this is just the surface of the soil, it all has leaves above it. I'm not going to dig them, I'm not going to dig a little hole and bury them. I'm just going to leave them on the surface of the soil right here. And I'm just going to put a handful of sand on top of them, or two. Well, maybe I'll water them down first, and then I'll put a handful of sand on top of them. That sounds like a good idea. Okay, so first I got to get all the hot water out of the water hose. Don't want to spray the hot water from the water hose on my plants directly. Just like to let it get cool before I spray it where I want it. Okay, so that seems good enough. So I have one spot right there that I did for the mammoth sunflower seeds. Two spots, I don't even know if you can see it. Right there where the water's going. All I did was pull aside the mulch and expose the composty topsoil and put the seeds right down there. Whoa! Covered those seeds up with some leaves. We're going to have to uncover them a little bit. And just watering them down, soak the seeds real good. Make sure the seeds are soaked. And of course I'm rinsing leaves on top of some of them. I'll remove the leaves off. That's one of the only things I'm concerned about when I'm doing this. The leaves get rinsed right on top of the seeds, and I'm wondering if they get smothered. The seeds can't push up or around the seeds. I mean the leaves. So anyways, here goes the sand. And I figure I'll just put a good bit of sand on there and then water the sand down real thoroughly. And wait for the seeds to pop out. So if I was to see there's seed right there underneath that leaf, and if this leaf was weighed down with a bunch of sand, could that seed push up around this leaf? Well, maybe the sunflower seeds are big enough to do that, but I don't know about the little lettuce seeds and broccoli seeds and stuff like that, so I get worried about it. I put like 4 or 5 seeds down here. I like to put extras so that it'll help to ensure good germination. And I think when the seedlings first sprout up, they like to have buddies close by, help them get started with the soil activation or whatever from the other seedlings and their roots nearby. They all start feeding the soil and activating it to support them. So I figure that multiple little seedlings side by side is a good thing. Oh, that's weird. There's a whole bunch of it's like a whole bunch of seeds right here of something. I don't know what those seeds are. There's going to be some weeds city if those all sprout. Alright. Oh well. We shall see. There's a couple of spots getting covered up here. Here's the last spot. Okay, there's all the sunflower spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I put a good bit of space in between them. A couple of 2 or 3 feet. Because they're going to get huge if they're like last year. And I wanted to put some beans or peas down here, make some vines to grow up the sunflower stalks. So I left plenty of space for that. And this should be a nice wall of green in a couple of months. Alright, so I wanted to give you a little update on my sunflowers today and what I'm going to do for them. So let's see, here they are. So see the nice row of sunflowers here. They're spaced nicely. I've gotten them all down to single plants per spot. And what I wanted to point out is, you know, there's some weeds underneath there. Some places there's a lot, and that's actually a good thing in my book, because what I'm going to do is take, for instance, the base of this sunflower plant has all these weeds, grass seeds, and I saw these seeds when I planted this. I believe. I'm just going to, right around the trunk of it, I'm just going to pull them up. And they're not too big, so it's real easy to pull them up right around the trunk of it. But all the other ones, I'm not going to worry about pulling them out. I'm just going to mulch over them, because that way the greens and the roots will all start to compost in place and actually feed the sunflower a little bit, you know. Every bit helps, especially when it's free. But not mulch heavily up against the trunk of it. I'm not trying to get the trunk of it to get some kind of a moisture damage. Right, so I got that done, and that brown mulch won't be breaking down anytime soon this season, but it does of course keep moisture in and allows the soil biology and life to really take off underneath, particularly converting that green weeds that I mulched over, converting them into material that will be useful this season, and will be a lot less concern over watering with all that nice cover under the sunflowers. A little update on sunflowers that I'm going to have beans grow up them. I'm going to show you all the progress here. So you see my sunflowers, they're about knee high. Doing good. Recently went through and mulched them all underneath, and now I'm planting some pole beans at the base of them. One spot on each side, one spot there, one spot there. So each sunflower has 2 spots with pole beans, so you can see them down in there. I'm just planting them like this. Just pull aside the mulch and poke a little hole with the finger and stick them in there, and then cover them up. Just a light, very light covering. I'm always worried about burying them too deep and them struggling to get out and not being able to sprout. See this spot here. So I'm just doing 4 per spot. 4. Okay. These are rattlesnake snap pole beans. That's it. Very easy to plant. There you go. Snap pole beans, rattlesnake. Let's see what they look like if you let them get all dried out. They're pretty green beans. Now I just gotta water them. I wanted to give you an update on my sunflowers. They've done well. I know I made the video and I made a prediction when I made this video about planting the sunflowers that it would turn into a wall of green because I planted the beans, or the green beans, underneath them or around them, and the sunflowers would grow up, and then the green beans would just like fill in the gaps between the sunflower stalks and just make it into a wall of green. Well, I didn't quite get right on that prediction because the wall of green didn't quite happen. The beans didn't do very well at first, for sure. They took a very long time before they really started to grow. I'm not 100% sure why. Of course, other than saying fertility issues weren't optimal for the beans, that seems an obvious, but specifically I'm not sure. But I did want to give an update on how well my sunflowers did and what I've gotten as far as the beans go. Now, the sunflowers are already past their glory, so let me show you where they're at now. They're in the harvesting stage, actually. So here's one of them, and you can see it's all dead and dying. But you can see how tall it is. It went up. It got to be a good color on that. Okay, now hit stop. Uh-oh, the rain is coming in. I'm gonna have to shoot this rest of this video later. I got my one of my sunflower heads right here. That's one of the reasons that I want to harvest them, is to get them out of all this rain, to help to avoid some potential mold issues. So I'm gonna hang them up under my deck is my plan until I'm ready to harvest. So the rain stopped. So now you can see the rest of these sunflowers. I ended up keeping seven of them all together. So let me show you here. So I had planted like 5 or 6 or so seeds in each spot. So there's one fell down here, but it had gotten fully developed before it fell down, and so the head was perfectly good and full of good sunflowers. I'll show you that in a minute. Good seeds. And that's 1, 2, 3, and you can see the green beans that were finally growing up these stalks. And I've gotten some harvest of green beans from, and I'm probably still going to get some more. You can look up here and see some flowers. Beans hide in there. One disadvantage to growing them up sunflowers is that, well, they tend to get too high for you to reach. You have to get the ladder, and the beans climb all the way up the sunflower. And you see, anyways, that's the 3rd sunflower. Here's the 4th one. This one also fell down, but it didn't break off at the base, and so it was still able to pump nutrients to the sunflower head, which I propped up over here with just with a wooden post, and I tied it. And the one that I carried to my back deck a minute ago in the rain is from this one. It has fallen down. So you can see where I chopped the head right here. And so it was able to, do fine. Just had a bent stalk, and it was pretty crazy bent on it for a long time. While it was still in the growing stages, and so it eventually just fell over, and I propped it up to keep the stalk from breaking altogether, and it worked out good. So that's number 4 sunflower. So there's one on the ground there. That one was actually one of my tallest ones, and it broke off right at the base completely. It was probably a good 15 feet tall, it seemed like. So that's 4th one, and here's the 5th one, and I already cut the head off of that one too. Yep, that one was a good one, and they've all turned out good. And here's one that fell down, so 3 out of the 7 fell. Now this one is the only one that fell down a bit prematurely, and its sunflower seeds aren't nearly as nicely developed. I'll show you that one in a minute. And finally, here's the 7th one that I was standing by a minute ago in the picture. And that one actually has one of the largest heads on it. It's huge. But on this one, These seeds are already falling out real easy, hanging over. So I'm gonna chop off these two. That one's like practically falling off already, and it looks like it's getting too much moisture on it. So I'm gonna chop that one. Her boots are on the wrong feet. So here's the 6 sunflower heads. Give you an idea how big they are. I got I guess a standard size hand. This is the one that fell down prematurely. You can see the seeds seem to be much, well, some of them, a larger proportion of them are less developed. This one looks pretty good though. The only way to know for sure, practically, is to split them open and see what the kernel looks like. This one right here seems to have some black oil in it. See, I think it's because it's been crossed with a black oil sunflower variety, open pollinated and all. And you see the seeds on this one are black, but the kernels inside are still good. That's what matters. Sunflower seeds. They're good raw, that's for sure. So I think this might be the biggest one. Either that or the one that I was standing by for the picture earlier. So, hope you enjoy this little video on the sunflower harvest. Thanks for watching.